All right, guys, welcome back to the podcast. My name is Caleb. Today I'm here with family, and it's not gonna be like a super scripted type podcast. It's gonna be one of those relaxing ones. We're talking to family. This is how it is. Welcome to the show, guys. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, absolutely. She wants to talk on the microphone. Yeah.
Thank you, Uncle Caleb.
Yeah. How you guys doing?
We're doing good.
Yeah?
Doing good. Yes.
Another great year.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. I can't believe it's 2024.
That happened
It
fast.
feels so distant.
Did it feel like the year went by fast?
Yes, it did. Like now, 2024 to me, I have a better perspective because in 2023 I was like, oh, 2024 is so far away.
Yeah.
And I have time to do this, and I would procrastinate on something.
Yeah.
And then before I realize it, a month is gone, and I'm like, God, I haven't done this. So like my husband was saying, like, I'm like, this year I'm taking every minute is precious.
Yeah.
Anything I need to do, I'm doing it on the go so that I don't want procrastinate, and two, I get to accomplish a lot of things I want to do on time and on schedule.
Any big resolutions for 2024?
Oh yeah,
that you guys can talk about?
Yes, big resolutions. Definitely grow our business. Yes,
okay.
Yes.
Hopefully that business, if it's okay, is something we'll talk about.
if something
comes
leads
up
to it,
yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, that's a big resolution for us this year, is to really grow our business, and also to be present.
Yeah.
As well, as a parent, as an individual, as a friend, as a wife, as a daughter. So
being present.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
What does that mean to you?
It means to be able to not be so focused on all the things you need to do in life, and actually enjoy each moment as it comes.
Being
right?
Because
one thing I noticed last year was so many things. Last year was, I don't want to say it was chaotic, but it was kind of chaotic, right? There was a lot of moments that I missed, that I was like, man, I wish I actually took the time to actually soak this in. So this year, I want to be more intentional about doing that.
Yeah, that's important. Samson?
Yeah, I don't really think 2023 went very fast for me. It's just one day at a time. The reason that you have so many things on your table, it's not fast.
Yeah, true.
If you're constantly doing something, it's not fast, because you just have a lot of things to accomplish within a short period of time. So you know that you just don't have time to waste time. Like we used to say, you don't have time to check time.
Yeah.
Just keep doing what the clock is doing.
Yeah, true.
So it's not that it's pretty fast. It's just like you just have to being able to be intentional about your goals, things you want to do, people you want to hang out with. Though there's going to be up and down, things is not going to work out the way you want to be. People may say it's failure. Some people don't see it as a failure, because success and failure, they just means the same thing. So to me, the year was just pretty cool. I need a lot of goals to accomplish, but it's not about setting a lot of new resolutions. About just keeping the momentum. Don't rush into the year. That's one thing I woke up to do this morning. I noticed a lot of people get tired when they rush into the year. They just January, February, March. They just want to. Then by Q2, they're tired and they are done. So, like I was saying, so this year, 2024 is just more like, hey, calm down, slow down, don't rush into it, so that you just don't get tired easily. Take it one day at a time, but don't waste any moment. So
you pretty much have the same goals from 2020.
Honestly, it's more of just upgrading, because I'm not this person. I stopped setting yearly resolution a couple of years back. I just do more of 5 years plan.
Okay.
And I just keep focusing on that, so that I'm not doing setting the same goal every year. Okay, in 5 years, this is what I want to be.
Right.
This is what I want to accomplish. Then just break it down to different quarter. So, and most of the time, even if I wrote anything down on paper, I'm still going to be on my system, so that I can just visualize it and just kind of like, okay, I'm done with this, I'm done with that, I'm moving that. I just kind of split it into my board. Being an IT guy, I just had this kind of like Kanban board, and I just split all my goals into it, and I just keep moving it. So
that's neat.
yeah,
I don't know if a lot of people are doing that though. I mean, I'm still on like the yearly. I'll do this next year.
Oh, I create yearly. Well, I won't call it a yearly goal, but I guess it is a yearly goal. So I have a goal for a year, and then I have a 5-year goal. I have a 10-year goal. I have a 20-year goal. I have a 30-year goal, and then of course as the year go by, like this year, for example, so we're talking to one of our, we were in a meeting with one of our mentors this morning, and he was talking about how we need to create a monthly goal for our business, right? Because now I'm a business owner. So I just can't create like a yearly goal. I have to be able to like track my business. So so now I'm in the headspace of, okay, I need to create a monthly goal, I need to create a quarterly goal, I need to create a semi-annual goal, and also a yearly goal for my business. And I'm like, okay, you know what? I can also do that for my personal life too, right? So if there's anything, so that's something new I'm doing this year, and then I'm gonna see how it goes, and if I like it, I think I will keep it up.
Yeah, that's interesting. For your business. I mean, we've said this business like 3 times. We might as well.
Yeah.
You want to talk about it? What kind of business are you doing?
Sure. I'm a financial professional, and so one of the biggest things we do is financial literacy and education, because a lot of people in America, one, don't know how money works, and they don't know how to make it work for them.
True.
And it's so ironic that one of the biggest things that an individual look forward to doing as they become an adult is to earn money, right? But nobody teaches you how to use that money, how to save, how to invest, where to put your money, and how to make your money work for you. Because I don't know which author said this, but there was a book I was reading, and the author said that if you're sleeping and your money is not making money for you, your money is not working for you, you're just working for your money. True. Right. So to me, I started equating wealth to, okay, my money is not working for me. If my money is not working for me, then I'm not wealthy yet. Yeah. So so that's one of the biggest thing we do, is just financial literacy, and helping our clients to assess their financial portfolio, manage their risks, protect themselves and their families, and create a legacy for themselves.
I can see that job is probably doing really, really well. I saw the car you guys came in. I was like, whoa, hello.
Funny enough, we actually had the car before we started the business.
Really?
Yeah,
I've never seen it.
Yeah,
how come I've never seen it?
Since we gave birth to her, because we needed a bigger car, because our car.
So you guys been well off for a while.
Everybody's definition of well off is different, right? Yeah.
Same thing. You guys been well
off. God has been faithful to us, and honestly, one of the biggest things that I am so super, super grateful for is that I learned financial literacy, at least some financial literacy, early on in life. Because the business that I'm doing now full time, I've actually learned about it since I started college. And when I started college, there was a training that we went to for the business, and the things I learned in that training, I was like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. And all those things that I learned are things that I applied throughout my college years. How to save, how to invest, where to put your money, where not to put your money, and all those things, right? So those habits that I created during my college days were what has enabled me to be able to actually create a substantial financial portfolio for myself, and also be able to create a good financial goal for myself, and be able to manage my money better.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Do you want to like tell people some of the details, or perhaps
I'll share a few. One of the biggest thing is learning how to save. There was a point in my life that literally I was saving about 60% of my income every month.
60%?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yes, I know.
Is this before you got married,
Before
or?
I got married, yes.
Wow.
Yeah. When I was working, I was saving about 60% of my income. Sometimes it got to a point it was even like almost 80. At a point there was a point it was 80%, and I would just live off of the I'll give
The
tithes
20, yeah.
10 and then live off of 10.
You were living over 10.
Yeah.
That's discipline.
Yeah. that
I
was
mean,
the
okay.
period- that
So
was the
first
period
of
I was
all,
doing
you
that.
must have been making a lot of money.
I wasn't. So when I say I was living off of, I'm saying that I'm living off of what is coming in, not a total of everything. So for example,
okay.
let's say like at that time I was making like how much a month? I was making about $5,000 a month, right? So from that what's it called? From that $5,000, right? Let's say I get paid $2,500 every 2 weeks, right? So I would dedicate the first week, which is not which when I know all my bills are due, I'll dedicate about 50% of that paycheck to all my bills.
Okay.
So 50% of that is saved,
Okay.
right? And of course, I've taken my tithe out. So take my tithe out. I have 10%. I have 90% left. So I use about 50%, right, to pay my bills and all those things. Because at that time I was single. I wasn't spending money. I wasn't going
Right.
out. I'm not
Samson wasn't
frivolous
around. You had to
person.
spend.
It was, but I wasn't like spending money like that.
Yeah.
So so I saved 40% of that first part of my paycheck. So when my next paycheck comes, the end of the month,
You can
right,
save
I saved
100%.
90% of that.
Okay.
So that's what I kind of like evened it out.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's fascinating. Yeah, I think Samson kind of nailed it on the head when he said discipline. Because a lot of times when you start seeing that kind of money come in, you like, what can I buy?
Yeah.
You're like, oh, I really like that one stuff I saw. But you got to be disciplined enough,
Yeah.
and that's one of the keys to being financially successful. There's something else you said. I think is very important, but I don't know how important it might sound to other people who are not Christians, which is tithe.
Yeah.
Like paying your tithe,
Yeah.
I think it's very, very it's just, important to grow in business, and because there's a commandment from God. He says, bring.
Yeah.
How important is it? Do you think it is to running a business?
I believe it's very, very important because Matthew 6:33 says, "Seek first the kingdom of heaven, and the rest will be added to you." And I take that promise so very dear to my heart because that is one of the verses that got me through college. Actually, that was the verse that got me through college. Literally,
Wow.
Yeah. When I said it got me through college,
Seek ye
it got me
first.
through college because for me going to college was a lot because one, I was by myself. I was working like 2 jobs, going to school full time.
And you were doing one of
and
the
I was-
hardest
and I was
things.
doing nursing,
Yeah.
and there was the point that I had to like let one job go, and I was doing one. So the one job I was doing more hours
Jack.
for that one, and even with all that, honestly, I still had time to serve in a campus ministry.
Okay.
I was serving full time in that campus ministry. I was also going to 2 different churches when I was in college. I was going to a Seventh-day Adventist church on Saturday, and then I'll go to a church called Cornerstone Church on Sundays. Just because, one, I just wanted to really grow my relationship with Christ, and that was the first time I've been on my own, right? So I really wanted to use thank you. I really wanted to use that opportunity to really grow my relationship with God in a way that I've never done before. So for me, it was very, very important for me to always be in an environment where God's presence was always there. So I was doing that, and there are times that literally I would have exams coming up, and I would still have Bible studies to go to. And there was a point I was also going. Well, I was serving in one ministry, and then I was a member in another college ministry, Christian ministry called Chi Alpha.
I'm losing my head already.
Called Chi Alpha when I was in college. So I would go to Bible study for each, or small group for each of those. And there are times I would have exams coming up, and I'll tell my friends, guys, I'm going to Bible study, and they'll be like, girl, we have exams coming up, you need to study. And I'm just like, nope, I need to spend time just knowing God more, and just being in the presence of God, and just learning more about Him and knowing Him for myself. So I will go to Bible study, and literally I will have like maybe a couple of days left to study for the exam, and
you were risking
or a few hours to study for the exam, and I would study. And of course, at that point, I know what my learning style was the best time for me. I'm a nocturnal person. I study better at night. Yes, so I would study at night while my friends, they all do their own thing, and we would go take the exam, and I would do better than all of them that have been studying.
Yeah, I hate it. People like you in school. People like you annoyed me in school.
I will either do better than them, or we'll get the same grade, and they'll be like, "How?
Yeah,
like
exactly.
how? Like we've been studying like way before you did." And when I started to notice that, I was like, you know what? Yes, really that is it. You know what? That's what I'm gonna do, and that was what I did all through our college till I graduated.
Well, do you think it's because of your dedication to God's work during college that perhaps helped? I think
it made it easier because when I was dedicated to God's work, right? Like when I would read or study for my exams, one, God brought a lot of people into in my class, right, to really support me.
Okay.
Right, like those that have been studying way ahead of me, like they'll tell me, oh, the tips and tricks that they learned while they were studying, they will share it with me, so I don't have to study hard and like find those tips and tricks, because they already came up with it and they're willing to share. And there are times I would just sit down and I would just like, Holy Spirit, just tell me and take me to where you think this exam material is gonna come from, and I would just be studying, and lo and behold,
that's where it comes from.
Up, that's what it's about, or just really focus on. One thing is that helped me as well was I felt like going to a community college first before going to a foreign university really helped me, because it taught me how to adapt to different teachers' learning style.
I see.
And to also adapt my different teachers' teaching style, and also adapt my learning style to every teacher's teaching style.
I see.
So whenever I would take a class and the teaching style of that teacher is different, I will be able to adapt my learning style to that teacher, which is something that a lot of people I was going to college with hadn't figured out.
Yeah.
So it was a lot easier for me because I had figured those things out. So it was easier for me because I'm like, okay, this teacher, I already know this teacher's PowerPoint. She sends the PowerPoint to me. I have the PowerPoint. I don't need to stress myself. She only teaches and brings exam from that PowerPoint. Yeah. So that's what I'm going to focus on. Or this teacher doesn't use PowerPoint, but it talks a lot, and a lot of things it talks about is where his exams come from. So I record all these lectures and listen to it. Yeah. Right. So those things like that. So I don't have to worry about like, oh, I have to study about, because this, I know what your teaching style is and my learning style.
That's wisdom though. That's a lot of wisdom.
Yeah, I can complement that. Thank you. I can complement that together, and it gives me more. It actually was able to. It's actually one of the reasons why I have the confidence to go to Bible study and be able to like, okay, I can just study because I know best way I learn and how to study.
You seem very busy during this time. Did you have a boyfriend as well?
No. No, oh my God.
Were you even looking?
No, that was my singleness period. That was my season of singleness.
Was that 4 years of
Yeah.
4 years of singleness?
Yes. Yeah, that was the time that God really grew me.
Jai.
And when I said like God was intentional about bringing no guys, like no guys at all to me, because at that time I came out of a very hurtful relationship that I thought was gonna be successful, but didn't. So I just told God, like, no, I don't want to focus on boys as I'm going to this new, like, my 4-year university. I just want to focus on you and my education. And God really honored my request, and that was what it did. Like, when I said no guy, like, for the first 3 years at least, like, when nobody like, nobody talked to me. And guess most of my friends are boys. So I'm constantly around boys, but for some reason they just didn't talk to me. Or at least like, if they tried to, they talked to my friends, but they never came to talk to me. But towards the 4th year was when, like, few boys now started coming.
Is it the same time Samson started talking to you as well?
Yeah. That was when God started bringing them one by one, so I started sifting them.
Do I know the story?
No.
Of how you guys met?
I think our first meeting was 2017. Right?
Yeah, it was 17 January.
Yeah, that was January 2017. We had during that one of our New Year party in our mentor's house, and we just kind of like, hey, hello, hi, how are you? What do you do? Okay, I'm in disco. Then we just have a lot of fun that night, and okay, then I don't know, maybe we did exchange contact.
You don't remember?
No.
You're gonna be in trouble, Samson.
We didn't because because I drove all the way from school to I drove like 2.5 hours to our mentor's house at that time. It was the minister in charge of the young adult ministry at the time.
At our church?
The bridge, yeah. No. This was before. I don't think it was before you came.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it was before you came. It was Minister Yomi was his name. Yeah. Yeah. So we drove to his house, and I was the one taking pictures for the event. So, yeah. So yeah.
And then Samson saw you, and he was just like, "Oh my God."
No, I mean, then we just like, okay, oh yeah. It's good. We had like she has a lot of sense of humor that night, smiling. Then I think in the August we met again during the Young Adult and Singles Week, and kind of like have some some hairstyle. I'm like, okay, this is cool.
My bantu nuts.
Then I just like, okay, so I just kind of making a lot of trouble with her. Then just like hello, hi. Then at that point in time, I think we got her contact. Then we were at round one. I mean, is it round one? Round one during the game, kind of game night. Have more time to talk. Then that was it. After the Sunday program, she went back to school. Mm-hmm. Then we had conversation open. So just kind of keep talking for a year. I mean, about a year plus. Then we just started like
long distance for a year.
No, it's just
not
friendship.
exactly long distance. Just friends.
Just friends.
Yeah.
But. Did any of you like have, and then like in your head were you like, oh, I really like this guy, or I really like this girl?
I didn't.
I mean,
you didn't like Samson to begin with. He's such a great guy.
Remember, I was still in college, just focusing on education, and this was still my singleness period.
Yeah.
Right. So I was just focusing on my growth. My spiritual growth and my education at that time. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, and then when was the turning point that you were like, I can't lose this guy ever? Or like, okay, maybe this question is for Samson.
It's more probably more for him.
Samson, at what point were you like, I can't lose this woman ever?
I mean, maybe the turning point would be more of like, what I can't remember the year. I'm not good with numbers.
Yeah.
So, I think it's more like during before the graduation. I think more the graduation year. Kind of we talk a lot during those years. Like, okay, call me, wake me up, gist. Then I'm like, okay, I think this shares like sense of purpose, and I can see like it's not just like one of those girls going to school.
Right.
Like she has like really sense of purpose and family oriented. I'm like, okay. Then start getting to know each other. Then she comes to town like, hey, do you want to hang out? No. Do you want to do this? No. Then every opportunity like either to hang out there was just capital no.
Yeah.
Like it's just like, hey, once anybody asks me out, just no.
So every time you asked her out, she said no.
So everything then was just capital no, 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 no. Then I think a year that time I bought a gift for her because I was buying Christmas gift. Then the following year I was like, I'm not buying Christmas gift for anyone. I still bought a kind of wristwatch for her, but she like, okay, when we got married, she's like, this is your wristwatch you bought for me. But she still collected it. But the turning point for me then was just more like that 4 year when like we started talking so much. Then I think when we met during one of our friends and graduation, and I was just like, we've been talking, come on, I mean, we had a lot of good conversation. What's going on with you? Then
What?
She was still more like, I'm not kind of looking for you. I'm not interested in a
Oh,
relationship.
she was mean.
She was just not me. She was just maybe I like she's not maybe mentally ready, and maybe she was like, oh, maybe it's one of those guys just want to come sample what's going on in my life. Then she'll be hard again in a minute. And I'm like, okay, I'm not one of those guys. So it takes time to like, okay, let me protect my inner peace before somebody else come.
Yeah.
And let me really know that this person really wanted it, not just like let me tell you the water, I'll see what's going on.
Yeah.
If I like, okay.
But you were persistent. You were like, I'm not losing hope at all. You were like, I don't care what you do, you're gonna be my wife.
Yeah, I think we met our friend graduation that year. I think that's 2018, if I'm correct, right?
Yeah.
And some of the sitting, because then, okay, I didn't know. I knew she was gonna be at that event, but we didn't get to talk maybe some night prior to that event. So we met at the graduation. Then she was like, you know, it's like you're going inside, then both of you just like going inside, say, oh, how are you? I don't. Oh, you're in town. I don't know you're gonna come around. Then we sat next to each other when we find the place. So I was sitting, then we kind of like trying to talk, but she was more like, I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to give you attention. I'm like, you know. Then one of the siblings or the graduates like, I noticed there's like a connection between you guys. Yeah. Well, it's like Javi is not giving any attention to this guy, but they're kind of having like he's kind of more focused on her. Yeah. Like because prior to that time, I know we're having communication. Then things just like go from like 100% to like 40%. Then you saw each other like, okay, kind of reignite the conversation or see what's going on, how it been. Because then I'm like, I'm like, okay,
it's okay.
So that was at that point in time, we're just like, hey, well, I think she's just more determined to have a better life, not just to get married for marriage sake.
Was that Abiola? Was that a thing for you? You were like, let me see how long I can have him. Is he here for the long run, or is he just here for?
No, that was not my intention.
That was not your intention.
I just wasn't genuinely interested.
You just didn't like him at all. You just looked at him. You're like,
no. It wasn't that I didn't like him. I like him as a person.
Yeah, but not for marriage.
And just not like that. And also, I was also in I think like 2 relationships at that time. That was
at the same time.
No. So I was in
Abiola.
When he started trying to talk to me, I was talking to somebody else.
Okay. And
then that ended after 2 months, and then a month later, I started talking to somebody else, and he was still trying to talk to me, and I'm not the kind of person that talk to 2 people at the same time. I don't have the energy.
Yeah.
My energy is very precious. I don't waste my time and effort on people that I don't feel like
gonna take you anywhere. Yeah.
Yeah. So he tried and talk to me. I was just like, no, I'm still talking to somebody. And then when the other relationship ended, honestly, I was not even in the headspace to be in another relationship at all. But it was persistent. Yeah, it was persistent.
I don't know if you remember this, but we had a heated conversation, me and you.
Yeah.
About boyfriend and girlfriend.
Yes. I remember.
Hopefully I can remember how it went. But I think
we were at church.
Yeah.
Yes, I remember.
It was something about oh man. What would you say? It's like it's the person I was saying if I have a girlfriend, then the person is you or something like that. Do you remember how that conversation went?
I think it was we're talking about what it means to be single.
Okay.
Yeah, that was what we're talking about. If I recollect accurately, we're talking about how what it means to be single. Like,
Yeah.
if a person is married, can the person, as a married person, still be single?
Yeah.
And that was what I think. That was
Yeah,
what
I
we're
think
talking about.
I was saying, because I have a girlfriend, I am not single. And
Yeah.
you were like,
And I was
you were
like, yes,
single
you are
until
still
you
single
married.
Until you're married.
Yeah. You still hold that perspective.
Oh yeah.
I mean, how?
Because you are still single. You are not. One, it's a state of mind, and it's also what binds two people together is marriage, right?
Okay.
So until you're married, you're still single. Whether you're dating, whether you're courting, whether you're engaged, you're still single.
So until you go through the vows
Until
that says you guys are one,
married,
you're
yeah.
still separated.
That is-
Interesting.
and because and marriage looks differently depending on the culture, right?
Yeah.
For some culture, right? Like, I think for some Ghanaian culture, once both family agrees that, okay, this
Yeah.
person and this person, they want to be together, and both family are on board, you're married,
Right.
and to them that's marriage. For some of us, you have to do a ceremony.
Yeah.
Some of us, we have to get married at a church, right? It just depends on the culture. But until either those things happen, you're still single.
You're still single.
You're still single. And because singleness is a state that you're in, but because of society has also now turned it into a status,
Yeah.
it can be confusing.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people will be like, oh yeah, I'm single because I don't have a boyfriend.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, and someone that is in a relationship will be like, I'm not single. And I'm like, technically you still
kinda
are single.
Yeah. Even if you have a boyfriend.
Even if you have a boyfriend.
I'm just going to premise that she's not saying because you're in a relationship and you're single means you can just pam everybody. That's not the, you can still be faithful to that person you're with, but you just understand that this, the status hasn't changed because what God has put together is one and one, and then it becomes one flesh. So until you guys are one flesh, you're single in the walk.
And not only that as well, don't also forget the state of singleness.
Yeah.
And that is a state in which you are one and whole. You are not looking for somebody to fill your void. You're not looking for somebody to remove the loneliness and help what's it called, make the loneliness easier. You're not looking for
I just love her.
you're not looking for companionship.
Yeah.
Right? You're looking for companionship, but you're not looking for the companionship to complete you. You are one and all by yourself. You can literally be by yourself. You can fulfill purpose by yourself. And honestly, I think that was the state I was in after I got out of that other relationship, the second earthful relationship. And I was like, God, I just want to focus on you. I was honestly at the point I was like, God, I don't want to, if it's my desire to get married, but if that is not your desire for me, I am okay with it. I'm okay with not getting married. I just want to focus on fulfilling the purpose that you've placed inside of me, because I don't want to leave this earth.
Your faith was that strong?
Yeah. I don't want to leave this
Samson,
earth.
was your faith that strong?
I mean, the crazy part of it is like, when we started dating.
I'm a radical.
Samson keep moving, so I have to keep repositioning.
Oh, sorry.
It's because of the kid. It's fine.
So, when we started dating or started talking, and it was like, the first deal breaker is like, hey, I'm going to pray the same prayer I've been praying for the same guys that came to my life for you. If you are not the right person, the same way you go.
Same way you came, that's how you leave.
So, and the prayer that was there for like almost like 6 months, like, God, if he's not the guy, just take him out the way he comes. I'm not trying to waste my energy on that. And I think it's kind of more critical when like, hey, marriage is not, hey, let me go test it and come back.
True.
It's more like, hey, this is me putting my time, energy, and resources into something that God has ordained to not just to bring forth fruit as children, but for both of us to complement each other, and while we're pursuing individual goals, as a couple. So once you understand, like, hey, having a healthy relationship, healthy marriage is like, how should I describe it? It's just one of those most important thing, I mean, to achieve in lifetime.
Finding a wife or finding a husband.
Yeah, I won't say you're not gonna be successful if you don't have a perfect family or you have like maybe divorce or stuff like that. But it just make your life easy. I just want to live my life enjoying heaven on earth. I'm not like, oh, when I die I get to heaven, then I want to enjoy heaven. No, heaven on earth, enjoy my marriage, enjoy my life, and keep it moving. So that's just the way I kind of like see the way marriage works for me, and having a family life and having a healthy relationship, and bringing forth godly children that can also we can train the way of the Lord, and also populate the earth for good.
I kind of want to talk about that too a little bit though, like raising kids and your ideas and how many you want it. But before we get there, maybe you guys can help the single us. Your perspective on what we should be focused on.
I'll say honestly, God, because like I was saying earlier, right? Mm-hmm. I was at that state. I was like, God, I'm content with you. Mm-hmm. I like my purpose on this earth. I know is bigger than just marriage and raising child, because I honestly believe marriage is a ministry and being a parent is also a ministry by itself. So and even though those are ministries, right? That is not something that I want to go into lightly. And if it's not God's will for me, then there's no point in me struggling and saying that no, I must do it. I must do it. Then I'm gonna miss the purpose that I'm supposed to fulfill and the other destinies that I'm supposed to touch, right? So I was at that state, and when I got to that state, I believe that is the state of wholeness.
Wholeness?
Yes.
Okay.
In which you're completely okay and fine being by yourself.
Right.
You are okay with being what's the word Miles Monroe would use? You are okay with being alone.
Yeah.
And not lonely.
Go ahead, y'all. Go ahead and preach.
So I was at that state, like literally I was like focused on God and his ministry, and so I was like, God, okay, I'm graduating from college. What church should I go to? And God was like, go back to where you came from. Yeah. So that's why I came back to House on the Rock. And it was like, go back to the to the youth and young adult ministry. Mm-hmm. So that's why I went back to those two ministries, right? And when I was at that state, when I believe when a person gets to that state of ownership, that you are you love yourself as a person, you love who you are, who God has made you to be, right? And you are fulfilled performing. So you are fulfilled living your purpose. Yeah. And you are satisfied and content with that. That makes you happy. Like being around other people, you're happy regardless of what other people's journey in life it is. Whether they're having kids or they're getting married, you're happy for them. You're joyful with them, and maintain your inner peace and inner joy. Yeah. I feel like when a person gets to that state is when they're truly ready for marriage, because when they now come into marriage, it's now two old people coming together. Right. You're not wanting, you don't have expectations for each other. Mm-hmm. You don't have you're not bringing somebody in to get rid of your loneliness at night or your loneliness.
Hold on, real quick. Hold on. She's like, I'm seeing these lights. She's like, this one is shiny.
She's like, it's colorful.
Yeah. Ma'am. She's like, all the other ones is not as shiny. This one is really. Yeah, this one.
No, not one like just a regular headphone that she can play with, throw around. Oh. You will not get hurt or upset if anything happens to it. Yeah.
But what we're talking about was relationship and what single people like us should look forward to. I think, Abiola, you were saying being...
Yeah, I was saying to one, just focus on God, and one, making sure before you're looking for a relationship, you have resolved your intrapersonal relationship.
That's a good one.
Because a lot of people go into relationship, right? Because relationship is an interpersonal relationship. So they go into relationship not dealing with their intrapersonal relationship, expecting their interpersonal relationship to resolve their intrapersonal relationship. And it's not going to.
Like that, yeah.
It's not going to. Because if you don't love yourself and you're expecting somebody else to love you, and you expect that to be enough, and the person is not showing love to you the way you want to be loved, right? Or the way you expect to be loved, right? And the person is going to let you down, and then you're going to start saying the relationship is not working. Whereas the relationship is working because it's just your own expectation, and you just haven't loved yourself enough to accept yourself as what you are, and then accept what the other person is bringing as well. So
Samson, you have the same perspective?
What are you bringing to the table? I mean, singleness is a season of like deeply growing yourself. If you are not secure before you get married, you will not be secure when you get married. So, that thing is just like, I don't know, this book by, is it Sarah Jakes was talking about being whole. I think it's Robert C. Jakes, I can't remember, but it's one of the Jakes families, like being whole. Wholeness is the key to like having a solid relationship. Even that you're planning to get married, or just like kind of platonic kind of relationship. If you're not fully matured to the extent that you can love yourself, you can love yourself enough to take care of yourself. It's gonna be hard for you to assume to put the responsibility on somebody to come into your life and play that role for you.
Do that for you.
Because if
And
they
make you happy,
play that role for you, then become like frustration. Because marriage is not 50-50, it's 100-100. Like you don't. The reason why a lot of marriages, relationships don't work is like we have too many unrealistic expectations. Like 50-50. No, if it doesn't break, no, there's never gonna be 50-50. Because mind you, somebody can lose a job today. He's not putting in an income. Then you're gonna say no.
It's gonna be a
or
problem.
somebody is having a bad day today because they're having a bad day, you're having a good day. Then you're not gonna make them have a good day.
Yeah.
So it just have like you just have to be able to like you must have developed yourself. Because someone like me, I started learning so much about relationship, marriage as far back of maybe 16. Like started reading a lot of books. I mean, I started reading more of Udukoya books, then a lot of other relationship books. Because of my immediate brothers or my siblings, they have like being in pastoral leaderships. They have a lot of books. So I'll just look on the shelf, see book on leadership, book on relationship. I'll just grab and learn. So that really kind of helped me to kind of like guide my perspective when it comes to relationship and knowing what you want to go for. Because at least me growing up, like my sister always like, are you gonna marry? You're just too determined. You just want to focus this career thing. Don't slow me down.
Yeah. Even now, we notice while we're having the podcast, you rather answer a phone call and talk about business for like 30 minutes.
You know, I mean, it depends on how you split your time. You know, somebody asked me, "What do you do?" The other time, I said, "Okay, I'm an IT consultant guy." During the day to some time, then my spare time is my business, you know. Somebody say you can't work for somebody 8 to 5 and you cannot work 6 hours for yourself, 5 hours. No. Because hey, this is your job to build yourself. It's your job to develop yourself. So no matter how you bring your skills to develop other people's organization or business, you must also look within yourself what you can start for yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think she just turned the light on, but it's okay. More light is good.
Yeah.
So what I'm getting is you are happy within yourself. You're happy with yourself. So you're not looking for somebody else to make you happy. So you already got it. So then when you get in a relationship, it's easier for you to just tell them what you like. But this is not saying that you're not going to have things you don't agree with, right? Because you're still... Okay.
Definitely. You're still going to disagree. But the biggest things the biggest reason why a lot of people fight or have issues in relationships, one is because of expectations. Expectation is the number one killer of any relationship.
They have to be 6 foot. They have to be abs. making 6 figures.
Irregardless of whether it's a romantic relationship or not, this also comes with friendship.
Yeah.
This also comes with familiar relationship. This also comes with what's it called? Like a relationship at work. Right, unrealistic expectations, it kills our relationships.
Yeah.
So until you are able to get rid of that unrealistic expectations, right? Because if you're already whole and you're already happy and you are able to content, there's something I love about Joyce Meyer that she always said was, even though she had a really rough childhood, and then had what's it called? I think she was married before, right?
I can't remember.
I'm not sure.
I can't remember, but like our relationship with her current husband now, right? Like there are days that she's just so angry and bitter and she's just having the worst day ever. And then her husband is just happy and jolly.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, and her seeing him happy, like before, this was like before in the earlier days of their marriage, and she would just be like, how can you be so happy? I'm this and that, I'm this and that. So she's trying to transfer what she was feeling to him, and he's just not having it, and it's just joyful. And he's just happy and content with whatever is going on, and that is one of the things that actually made their relationship better, because when he saw the state that he was only, regardless, you are not gonna let my negative circumstances and emotion rub off on you, then you know what, slowly by slowly his positive attitude and emotion was started rubbing off on her, right? And her whole perspective changed, and she was like, why am I always getting upset? You know what, I also want to smile. I also want to be happy. I also want to be joyful regardless of the relationship or what is going on in my life. So that's one of the reasons why I said it's so important for you to fix that intrapersonal relationship before going into any kind of romantic relationship. And the best way to deal with that is through filial relationship, your friendships, right? Like use your friendships to
filter out what you like.
Figure out if there's any issues you're having within yourself. Your friends are there. They love you. They support you. They're committed to you. They're able to deal with your BS, regardless of
they sign
what
up
goes
for it.
on.
It's part of the deal.
Yes, right. But they're not what's it called? Romantically involved with you. So you can, whatever it is that you're going through, you can have conversations with them. They can help you. They can be there to support you. They can help you develop whatever it is that you need to develop within that season. And once you're there, like going into relationship, and it's gonna, honestly, when you fix your interpersonal relationship, finding the right person and knowing when you meet the right person will be so much clearer.
Okay, so that leads to the next question. When Samson finally came by, you were whole and you were within yourself. What was it about Samson that you were like, this is my person?
One of the reasons I'm not gonna share. But the other reason was I was at a point in which I'm like, you know what, going into getting married for me is not marriage. Love is not what makes a marriage work.
Okay.
Right. Because I've met people that are so in love with each other and their marriage still didn't work. Right. So it's not love that makes a marriage, it's commitment and wisdom and the reason and the decision to love that person, not the feeling. To love that person unconditionally, the same way Christ loves us, right? So that's some of the things that makes a marriage work. So when I met him, and when it comes to communication, we're able to communicate effectively. We're able to be open to each other and have that friendship relationship, because that is one of the things that is big with me. With whatever relationship, I want to be able to have conversation as a friend.
Yeah.
and be able to have those. Yes, we can argue, but then we come back to, okay,
Well,
yeah,
understanding.
we have different opinion, but what's the middle ground, right? And the ability for another human being to be able to do that, and to be able to do that in response to you is very, very important. And another thing was, I've been hurt in so many relationships in the past that I'm like, I don't want to go into a relationship with somebody that I know could hurt me. And after getting to know him, I realized that he's not one of those people that could do that, regardless of
That's a level of faith, though. You're just
regardless of like how I behave or what goes on in my life or what circumstances we face.
He's not gonna hurt you.
I'm not gonna say he's not going to, but compared to other people that I've met and the tendency that they have, because there's some personalities that people have that you can kind
It's
of
okay, Samson.
you can kind of see. It's okay. You can kind of see that this person could really hurt you if they really wanted to.
Yeah.
So and he doesn't have that tendency. So I'm like, you know what? I can make this work.
That's fascinating. So his ability to communicate and be a friend, and his ability to not hurt you. Is there anything else in him?
One is driven. Is not the kind of person that is idle. Because for me, I started preparing for marriage at the age of let me say around 18 to 19, and I was very intentional because of one, just experiences that I've had with my parents' marriage and marriage in my family and people that I've seen around me and people that I respect and love, and there's an idea of what I wanted my home to be like, right?
Yeah.
So so for me, another thing that I also learned was while growing my relationship with Christ is, in everything you do as a human being, you want to be an asset. You never want to be a liability to somebody. When you're an asset to somebody, you're able to bring out value. You're able to bring out the best in others.
Yeah.
You're able to, even in the worst situation, right? Your light still shines, and that is one of the things that God has created us to be. We as Christians, we are light to the world. So for me, it was very important for me to prepare to be that asset. So throughout my singleness period, I was preparing myself to be an asset to whoever I get married to, right? And not only whoever I get married to, like whoever I know, whoever's around me, including my friendship.
I'm glad we're friends.
Yeah, including my friendships, right? I want to be an asset to my friend. I just don't want to be taking from people. I want to be able to give as well, and not just give anything, but to give the best of me.
Yeah. Right.
And so when I have that mindset, and we talked, and I noticed he also had that mindset, I'm like, this is not a lot of people have that kind of mindset.
That's
to
true.
Be an asset, to be of value, and to be to be a light to somebody or to a relationship or to an environment. Right. So and so for me, I was like, okay, you know what, we're like-minded. We have the same values, we have the same beliefs. We both have the same goals, future goals. So I'm like, you know what, I can make this work.
Samson, what was it for you?
Yeah, for me, like what she said, love is a decision, it's not a feeling. One thing that is very, very important in a relationship and also in marriage is you being able to kind of make that decision, and in a walk of faith with the help of Holy Spirit and with God on your side, like, okay, this is what I'm committed to do. This is what you've been to school to go and study 4-year courses or 3-year courses to know, okay, this is what it takes to become a doctor, an engineer, Then to kind of become a whole is somebody who is like gonna be in marriage to be able to be a father.
I'm just gonna switch to that camera so you can see her on the table.
She has so much It's okay. She'll be fine.
She's so funny.
So, sorry for the breaking transition.
No, you're fine. Go ahead.
Like I said, that making that decision is just like number one thing, and honestly, for me, that kind of I spent my life growing up in Nigeria. I come with a lot of old mentality of Nigeria in kind of parenting style or relationship or marriage. I have to kind of unlearn. The editor is disturbing you, right?
Like when she wants to go across.
For her, she just drama for us. That's the energy. She didn't let us sleep throughout last night, just rolling on the bed. Okay. So, like I said earlier, relationship is not about decisions, it's not about your feelings. Feeling will come and go. If you're on a steroid or just feeling, oh, I love this person, and everything is just about feelings. The feelings is gonna be out of it. Mm-hmm. And if it's just about the physique, she's good looking, da. After first baby, she doesn't maintain that figure. The figure is gonna be good. But when you look at somebody just haven't been able to invest time and resources into themselves, study godly materials, study people who have successful marriage, or even people that don't have successful marriage or successful relationship, what run their lives. So you're able to use that to kind of guide yourself as a weapon when you still start seeing some red flags. And like for me, I mean, I read one of those books that really helped me a lot when I was about getting married, and that's like love and respect. And every man wants the respect, every woman wants the love. So, and they started the book by explaining the crazy circle. Crazy circle is going to happen in every relationship and every marriage, and that is you're going to have misunderstanding. Mm-hmm. So, what symbolizes or a relationship being healthy is for you being able to have that uncomfortable conversation, being able to kind of forgive each other, and being able to move on.
Yeah.
Because if you have not learned to sharpen your conflict resolution skills, and you just go into marriage, it's just a bomb ready to explode. Yeah. This boils down to like you being able to like learn a lot before you get being whole. Conflict resolution skills, if you don't have 50% or 80%, don't go into marriage, because if you don't have conflict with your wife, you're gonna have with your siblings or your wife's siblings or your in-laws. Something is just gonna come at one point in time. Then you should be able to now, like, your skills is just gonna guide you to navigate. Okay, this is how to resolve this issue without causing problems. So I think that's just one thing for me, and and also being a single too. And for people that are close to me, that will always share a lot of values, talk about relationship. I mean, they know I'm being vulnerable with them. If you are gonna have friends that are not vulnerable with them about their marriage, don't waste your time with them. Right. Trust me, because there's no perfect relationship. There's no perfect marriage. Everybody's growing every day. So it's not. We thank God it's not where we made. That's where we are today. Right. Somebody is going to be more matured in their dealing with either their family or their thoughts, their friends, more than each other. So it's okay for both of you to now like wake up and okay, this is the strength, this is this person's weakness. Being able to come in and being able to kind of like do the right thing for to protect your family. Like for us, she's more financially kind of like savvy, disciplined than me. We both have more financial like okay, how to invest, what to do with our money, how to have different accounts. Like, I read this book, Profit First. That helps me kind of channels different money, your profit money, or your operational account, your tax account. You have 5 different accounts and money goes into it. But for me, I happen to be kind of like, I'm an emotional giver. If you come to me now like, I need 1,000, and if I just have that 1,000 in my account, they're like, okay, God will provide. I'll give it to you. YOLO. My wife is not like that. So
I'm glad I know that now.
Kind of like, hey, so we kind of like know who's going to like, hey, more. I'm more kind of like, hey, you give responsibly. Let me use that word. Yeah. Then I'm an emotional giver. So over time I kind of like, read a couple of books that also help me kind of know how to manage that. Manage to say no to people. Yeah. And what to put yourself into, what not put yourself into, because I've seen it if couple can communicate effectively about their finances, like maybe let me say 50 to 60% of that problem is solved.
Yeah, because finances are one of the key factors for divorce,
Yeah.
especially in
Yeah.
America.
Yeah. Yeah.
Scary stuff.
I know that's why financial literacy is so important.
She wants to
for
go back to her job.
No, it's
I mean,
Reach out to her if you
every
need advice on
person.
financial stuff.
yeah.
Where can they find you in your business?
we're on Instagram called Hilltop Group.
Hilltop Group.
Yes.
And then the website is the same?
No, the website is different.
So
Okay.
I mean, once our business gets started, we become a broker. We're gonna have a website and be able to kind of take stuff, but
Yeah.
we use more of like Instagram to just channel most of the traffic now.
Yeah.
You know, schedule meetings, follow up with clients, and it's amazed me. Many times we talk to different couples, you see they're on different level on their financial journey.
Yeah.
And some were just like, I don't want to talk about this.
Yeah.
I don't want to bring it up. No, I don't want to listen to it, you know. It's okay, you know, for couples to have different challenges, but it's not just okay when both are not helping each other to be more financially responsible or
Yeah.
financially smart. I've learned from a lot of couples and young couples within this metropolis that are doing financially great. And because both couples know they prepare themselves for it, even when they have issues, they are able to sit down and resolve it. No, I'm not fighting with you. This is the issue we need to resolve. So we don't need to take it too far and become an issue. Let's just resolve this issue. Let's communicate. Okay, how can we make this work? So, and I think I have a couple of them in my life that like really being of help. They are kind of being vulnerable about their finance, being vulnerable about their lives, and you know, that's just one thing about finance. Being you guys to be able to talk.
Yeah.
Say, hey, this is what we're doing financially. This is how we can do better, and these are people we can talk to that can help us financially.
Right. So you guys find all these interesting things about each other, and you guys decide to get married. I just want to premise that it was. I think you guys were the first or the second wedding. Well, it wasn't the first. I think you guys were like the third or second wedding that I shot. And I'm grateful for that opportunity, by the way. Because a lot of people, when you're just starting on your whatever business, everybody's skeptical. It's like, nah. But through shooting with you guys, I've been able to do at least 5 of the weddings just from you guys. So that was pretty cool. I appreciate it.
I mean, one of the things that is very important is just the fact that, you know, I love your vibes.
Yeah.
You really invested into the gadgets, into the system. I never met you where I left you.
We're trying to grow
like
every day.
every now and then you are developing yourself, you are getting gadgets, you know, you're trying new things.
Yeah.
We're talking about, okay, did you get this? So there are some people, they are just where you left them, even the journey of their career, but you know, you invested your time to it, you invested your money into it. And you know, each time I kind of sit down and watch either the wedding or any of the shoots, I'm kind of excited about it. So it's still for me to like, okay, hey, you want somebody for your photo shoot? Or, okay, killer pieces there. So.
I appreciate that big time. I appreciate that. So you guys got married. What is it, like 5, 6, 7, 8 years ago?
No,
4 years ago.
4 years.
4 years ago.
Yeah,
I knew it because I think on my website it says I've been doing this for like 4 years or something. Yeah, and you guys were like my second or third.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. 4 years. How has it been? It's good?
It's been
Up and down?
Honestly, it's been good. There are days that you have your hard moments, and there are days that honestly, all in all, it's been good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's you know, different because you go through different seasons in life, so you can't say because of one season was bad, everything is bad. So you just go through each season and just ask God for grace. And continue to focus on being the light. One in your home, and also fulfilling purpose while you're doing everything else. When you're doing that, God works everything else out.
True.
And maturity also comes a long way. When you have people that are mature, even when you have misunderstandings, you're able to sit down and have those tough conversations, like you said, and have those uncomfortable conversations, and move on from it.
Yeah.
Like, don't
Understand that it's not
Yeah.
I'm not against you. We're just trying to figure out
exactly this thing. Like, and I'm not gonna say why I'm laughing because I know it's gonna lead to something else. But but yes. Yeah.
So I mean, for me, one of the things I would say is just like when you get married, somebody, this somebody I've left like living like 16, 20, 30 years away from each other. Like you have grown up with different ideas, different culture, different belief system. So you just don't get married in 2 days
and
or in 1 year.
Everything
to
just
be okay.
rosy. No.
And he just wants everything to just like sandwich together. So you have to like be able to kind of like, the rough part of each other has to kind of brush up. The family culture from my mom or my dad, or some people want to marry people that will be there like their mom, or people that will be like their dad. And when they get into a relationship, they don't see
and
that
they found
person.
out it's not.
Yeah. So you have to kind of break down a lot of expectation and start building together. You build everything from zero together, like your thought process, what your family gonna look like, how many kids you have. Start talking about, okay, this is the way we do things in our family. This is not I want us to be in our own current family,
Yeah.
So those moments just have to be really like be figured out, and I think like I said, it's just a growth process. 4 years of learning, 4 years of knowing each other, 4 years of loving each other, 4 years of like being in different situations, different moments of life. We got married and we go literally into COVID. So
yeah,
tough times.
It was just like,
I know it was right, like.
And for me it was just like a lot because she worked in the healthcare, being a nurse, and they're like, okay, your wife stay this way, your husband stay this way.
Yeah.
And that was really a lot of divining moment for us, because for me, watching her going through a lot of stress, work 12 hours, come back. I work at home and I was just like, okay, you know what? I'll go drop you at work, pick you up in the morning. You don't need to go through the stress. I leave before 8, 9. I'm back. I work on Pacific time those days, so it's kind of easy for me before you get to Central time. So, but we've been through all those like seeing different moments of life within these 4 years, and
did it make your love for her grow even more?
I mean, that makes me kind of respect her because she has really strong work ethics, and and when the time comes, like when we have baby, like, hey, I'm tired of this job, nursing thing on the backside is just a lot. I'm like, hey, go for it. We plan our life not to be able to like, being able to support each other and being able to be there for one another, So it wasn't kind of like a big thing to me. Like, go for it. Like one of our mentors would say, you live on income or the lowest.
I mean, with her ability to spend only 10%, I figure you guys would be good.
Bro, that was when I was single. Now,
no, but even now, I'm pretty sure you're still like, no, we're not gonna buy that. No, we don't need that.
I know. Yeah. We still. We're still talking about it as we're coming.
It's like, no, that's too much.
Like,
finance is something
we really need it.
Yeah.
It's something you get to talk about every night. Every couple that is not talking about finance.
At least 5 times a day.
Yeah.
Not even a day, like in a week, like 1 or 2.
Oh my gosh.
It's either they are not being honest about themselves, or someone just like, just forget about it.
I'm pretty glad that I got all this stuff before I can find somebody. Because I couldn't imagine telling somebody, oh, I have to buy that thing and it costs $1,500. And they're like, wait, what? Just that one thing is like,
Yeah,
so,
I know. Yeah.
I'm glad all that out of the way.
Definitely.
But you guys been good 4 years. God has blessed you with
Yes.
a lovely, lovely young lady.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
A lot of energy. How is that like?
Lot of energy. Like, man, I was praying like, God, I pray that my child will be healthy, and just remember, we didn't know whether she's gonna be a boy or girl until she was born, right?
Yeah.
And we're like, we just want her to be healthy and be full of energy and love, and
she's full of energy,
and just have a good spirit, right? And then she came out and she was exactly that.
Yep.
That's, I'm like, be careful what you pray for, because God is so intentional about the details of your creation.
Yeah.
That I tell a lot of people that whatever you want, irregardless of whether it's in a child or in whatever situation, be so intentional about the details. Even the most minute detail that you think don't matter, or you think, oh, this is just mundane. It matters to God, because when God is creating those things and those situations, it puts all your requests and all your wants and desires into consideration.
Yeah.
So her coming, she came out kicking. She came out full of energy. Like the moment I carried her, and like the moment she came out, like her eyes were wide open.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know. Babies open their eyes this wide, like immediately they're born.
She was like, "What's?"
And then as soon as I spoke, she literally turned her head to look at me.
Oh wow!
I was like, this was like minutes after she was born. I was like,
how was that? How was that feeling like though?
I was like, oh my gosh, this girl is so strong.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Of course, I was still going through the old
emotions. And
yes, she's here finally. We thank God for safety, for safe delivery and everything. And then she was like, "Man, I'm hungry."
Oh yeah,
that was the first thing. Because maybe like she came out and they cleaned her and everything. Like she started sucking her fingers. Like, excuse me,
like,
I like food. Yeah, so she was ready to go, and every milestone with her has just been beautiful.
Yeah. I really wanted to ask you this.
Yeah.
Love. It's something. For an example, when we're talking about your marriage, it was something you saw in him that generated the love, I would say, right? Mutually. With kids, though, that love is different.
It is.
They don't have to do anything.
It is. That's why.
Like, they just come out and just like, if anybody put a finger on this kid, they might die.
Yeah, it is very different.
Yeah.
Yes, like you said, it is super, super different. But with it being different, I also, when I look at her, seriously, there are times she would do something like that upsets you, and then she smiles, and you're just like, and I would tell myself, I will not be manipulated by your smile.
Too bad, it already happened.
No, serious. I would not be manipulated by a smile. And if I need to correct her, I correct her in love, because when you see them so small and you see them so delicate, and you're like, yes, these children, like, you want to protect them. At the end of the day, when I look at her, I don't see a child.
Oh, you don't?
I don't. I see destiny and purpose.
Okay.
That's what I see when I look at her. And because I see destiny and purpose, right? And also based on the word of God that our seed, we're supposed to bring up our seed, right? It's in the way of the Lord. And when I look at her, I'm like, this is a destiny and a purpose in my hand.
Yeah.
I can't go wrong. I can't let the emotions I feel for her not make me correct her when it's time for me to correct her. Or discipline her when I need to discipline her. And it was very, very tough. It was very, very tough, because you're just like, she's so small, I don't want to discipline her, but at the same time, this is the stage for me to discipline her, because if I don't in this stage, it's gonna be a lot harder the more she grows and becomes independent.
Did the two of you have the same discipline idea for kids?
I think we do. It's just the way execution is different.
So you're like and he's like don't do that.
No, actually. You wanna talk?
I mean, when it comes to, like, we grow up like differently, but discipline and parenting style, we kind of like adopt almost similar principle. Raising a godly seed, and also being able to kind of like create a culture that is godly around them. So for us, if it's time to discipline, we'll let you know, hey, you did something wrong. Don't kind of do something wrong and you smile at me like, Daddy, everything is okay. No, don't do that again. I'm like, okay. And look at me and you're like, show some tantrum. I'm like, okay, show some tantrum is enough. That's fine. You're going to get up and you're going to be fine. So, I mean, discipline is something like, I think both of us are kind of like 100% advocate of. or like we're just more. She's more strict than me, or more lenient. She can easily show mercy than me. For me, yeah.
Funny enough, a lot of people actually thought I was the strict. Well, I believe I'm still the strict one. I just think is just in a different way.
Yeah.
It's just in a different way because for me, I don't let every little thing pass. He lets a lot of
Everything
things pass
pass.
before it gets to that moment.
Yeah.
Before it's like, okay, now you need to be disciplined, and corrected, right? So for me, because I kids are so very observant. Children are very very observant, right? And when you don't correct something the first
Right
time,
away.
they believe
It's a habit now.
yeah, they believe it's something that is okay for them to continue to do, and especially if it's something that is going to lead to them hurting themselves physically,
Yeah.
emotionally, or psychologically. I react.
Correct it,
I
yeah.
correct it immediately. I correct it immediately because I don't want her to go through that, right? So yeah, I think it's just the execution is different.
Yeah. And I noticed that you guys speak Yoruba to her only.
Yes, we
Is
do.
that intentional?
Yes, it is intentional because when I first came to the United States, right? My when I was growing up in Nigeria, we spoke both English and Yoruba, but we speak Yoruba in the house.
Right.
So when we came here, we still spoke Yoruba, but when we came here, that was like, no, I want your English to get better, so I want you guys to only speak English. So we just started speaking English, and eventually my little sister, they were much younger than me. They literally forgot how to speak Yoruba. Like, they don't know how to speak Yoruba. If they speak Yoruba, you would think they're a foreigner.
They're from yeah.
And for me, like I can still speak a little bit. It's just not as smooth because of course I was like 13 when I came here.
Right.
So and then when it now got to a point, I remember this vividly. So I think I was 15. It was like around 2 years or 3 years after we've been here. And we went to a party with our parents, and we were speaking English, and our dad's friends were talking to him, and they were like, "Oh, why don't your kids speak Yoruba?" And they were like, "Oh, they can speak." And they asked my sisters to
Yeah.
speak. They couldn't.
That's embarrassing.
They couldn't speak. I was able to speak a little bit.
Yeah.
And they were like, they were like, my dad was so shocked that they don't know how to, like,
Wow.
they've kind of like
Lost it a
forgotten how to
little
speak. They understand, but they've forgotten how to say certain words and things.
Yeah.
So my dad was like, when we got home, he was like, you know what, you guys can start speaking Yoruba now.
Right.
And at that point, we've gotten so used to speaking English, right? So it's even though you said that, like, our default was still English.
Yeah.
So
you're making it an intentional thing
we're making
to
it
speak
intentional
it. Yeah.
for her. So like, when I got pregnant, right, with her, I made it a purpose for me to speak Yoruba only from the time I was pregnant.
Wow.
Because I was like, if I don't get used to speaking it now, if she's born, I will be speaking English to her.
Oh,
So I will tell him, only speak to me Yoruba. Even like my in-laws, my siblings, I'll tell them, speak to me Yoruba. Even if I reply to you in
Is that
English,
important,
continue.
huh? Why
Yeah.
is it that important?
Because we as Africans, we're losing our culture. We're losing our culture in America because
Do you think so?
I think so. I do think so because when I look at the Spanish, they don't lose their culture. Their kids still speak Spanish fluently and English fluently, right? And they still so much respect their culture and are so proud of their culture. And when I look at the Chinese, the same thing. When I look at Koreans and I look at Japanese, the same thing. Same for Indians, right? And all these other people that immigrated to America. But when it comes to us Africans, like, it's just so easy for us to just, I think it's colonialism was what caused it. Because it made kind of created this inferiority complex within us without us subconsciously.
Yeah.
And so we feel like, oh, even in Nigeria, I still see it. People in Nigeria will say that, oh, they want their kids to speak English only in a country that you have like over 260
different
languages, right? Just because they believe that, oh, English is the best language, English is the primary. If you don't speak English, you're not educated enough, or you're not this and that. So for me, her for me, it is so important for her not to lose our culture and not to forget our language as well, because a language and your culture defines a big part of you as well. Because the other thing I'm not finding with it is that a lot of people my age, right, that grew up in that sense of we want to speak English, we're now in a place where African culture is now more socially acceptable.
Yeah, it is.
And now we're trying to like, oh yes, I'm proud to be Nigerian.
Yeah.
Before, when I was in high school, I don't want people to know I was Nigerian. I was Nigerian, right? And they are trying to now find their roots. And I'm just like, but your roots has always been there. You were the one that never embraced it. I don't want her to go through that. I don't want any of my children to go through that.
That's fascinating.
Or our children to go through that. So
you guys are planning on having more?
Yeah. So yeah, that's why we are so intentional with her, because if the first child is able to speak your language, it's going to be so easier for the rest of them. Because my and I learn a lot. I study people a lot.
Okay.
and the reason why is because I just like to learn from other people.
Yeah.
I noticed some of my friends, right, that they had their first child and they speak English only with that child. And then when they have their next child, and they're like, I want my kids to be able to speak my language. And they start trying to teach the second child, but because the first child only speaks English, it's very hard for the second child to learn.
Because whenever they hang out with each other,
exactly, they speak English. So it goes back to the difficult, it goes back to the default language of English. So it's a struggle. So that's why we're like, if we can be as very intentional with her and she speaks the language, it's going to be so much easier for the rest of her siblings.
What else are you guys intentional about in teaching her?
Oh, teaching her, just learning.
Yeah.
When I talk for this, people laugh at me, but I I believe education is so important, and research has shown that the most educative year in a child's life is the first 3 years of their life.
Wow.
Yeah.
Most educative?
Yes. That is
first 3?
Yeah, first 3 years of their life, because that is when children are like a clay. You can mold them into whatever you want.
Yeah.
They absorb, and they're also like sponges. They absorb everything in their environment.